If you can hear me, type in HackerFrog. Disk space issues. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. I think we might have lost YouTube. Let me see if I'm streaming on YouTube right now. No? Are we on YouTube? YouTube is back up as well. Okay, thank you. That was anyways. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. I was having some problem with that disk space. That's kind of that's kind of weird. Just buffering? What's going on? Okay, so we can specify like specific directories to look inside of. So let's go ahead and do that. So we run get child item recurse hidden file, and then we can do like let's see dot slash there's now more than one stream. Okay, yeah, that's true. It's a bit of a pain, but it's better than not having to stream at all. Okay, so what directories are we supposed to be looking inside of? Contacts, desktop, documents, downloads. So it's contacts. There's a bunch of these, so I might as well keep track of a few different directories that we're looking inside. YouTube issues, yeah, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, desktop, documents, downloads. Back on mobile. Okay, that's great. Okay, favorites. Oops. Green spider, that doesn't sound very good. Music, and the last one is videos. Oh, we found one. The other thing about this is that we had a lot of like error messages. There has to be something to suppress error messages, right? So PowerShell suppress error messages. So it's like error actions silently continue. So just run all this, and then we just get the secret sauce file. Okay, that's great. Let's go ahead and read this. It's the name of the file, right? So the password for Century 12 is the name of the hidden file. So the name of the hidden file is secret sauce. Let's go ahead and record our solution for this. We need to search recursively. inside certain directories on the user's home directory. Okay, we'll give the command over here. No Wi-Fi at the moment. Steaming fish. Steaming fish? Alright. Let's copy that. We'll paste it in. This is PowerShell. And that's it. And we can move on to the next challenge. So the next level is level 12. So the first thing we do is the SSH command /password. We record the instructions. We record the method of solve. Okay, let's get out of here. So the SSH command is identical, except that it's century 12. And the password is what? Secret sauce? Okay, the instructions for this level. Let's take a look. Okay, the password for Century 13 is the description of the computer designated as a domain controller within this domain plus the name of the file on the desktop. Okay, let's copy that. Let's go ahead and copy this. Whoops. So SSH as Century 12. Password pasted in. Okay. So everybody, if you want to do the same levels we're doing, I'll provide the SSH command and the password over here. The description of the computer designated as the domain controller. Okay, so I guess we could look for PowerShell. Get domain controller computer. To find domain controllers in Active Directory using PowerShell, so you do get AD domain controller commandlet. Okay. So we're not looking for everything in here. We're just looking for a specific thing in this output, right? We're looking for the description. So dash description like this. No. Description of the computer. So what is the description? what is the process? What is the process? So I guess maybe what we need to do is we need to specify the host name. Specify the host name, and then we need to get the description of the computer. 40-ounce horchata. Hey, that's a funny name. Hello, nice to see you here. Is this IAM? Is this IAM? I mean, this is PowerShell, and we're currently working inside of like an Active Directory environment. Okay, so I guess what we need to do is we need to use PowerShell get computer description. So to find a computer description via PowerShell, you must use different commands depending on whether you want to query the local Windows system description or the Active Directory object description. I mean, I'm not too sure which one we're doing here. I am, Dapril. Hello, nice to see you here. Okay, to find the description configuration in the local Windows system profiles, local Windows system properties, use the get CIM instance commandlet. Okay, remote computer, append computer name, your PC name to the command. Okay, let's try copying this. We'll paste it in. And we also need to specify which computer it is. So computer name, and I can't remember what the thing was called. Dapril says, I always meant to do under the wire. Over the wire was the bomb. Yeah, I mean, learning how to do stuff in PowerShell is very handy if you do a lot of scripting inside of Windows. Hold on. Copy paste is always a bit weird. Okay, so what's the computer name going to be here? Maybe this host name? utw.underthewire.tech? Or maybe by the IPv4 address. Parameter cannot be found that matches the parameter name, computer name. So computer name, this isn't quite working. So get 80 computer, identity, your PC name. Maybe it's going to be the get 80 computer commandlet instead. Snollygoster says, under the wire was so underwhelming. Snollygoster, hey, nice to see you here. We're just trying to cover our bases by doing some PowerShell stuff. In comparison to Over the Wire anyway. I mean, Over the Wire's got a lot more variety in the stuff that's there. I mean, they've got like Linux war games, they've got web app security war games, they've got cryptography war games, they've got reverse engineering and binary exploitation. But Under the Wire just has PowerShell stuff, as far as I know anyways. So we can't find our description here? So we ran get 80 domain controller, but I'm wondering what name we use when we try to query information about this computer. Kind of hate PowerShell syntax, but got to admit it's handy. Yeah, I mean it's very extensible, but it's too verbose. Okay, so this thing is just called UTW, maybe? Wouldn't be caught dead with it on Linux. It's not really meant for Linux. So the identity of the machine is just UTW? No? Okay. Okay, this is exactly what we want. You can actually? I don't know if that's the best thing to do on Linux. The description, I authenticate. I authenticate things is the password for the next level. All right, let's write about it. So the first thing we need to do is get the details of the domain controller in our environment. Okay, and we do that with this command. Get AD domain controller. So the identity of the computer is UTW. We can feed this into the next command. This one. So we can combine the description with the file name on the desktop. Okay, and then I think we're finished with this level. So the next level is level number 13. So the whole password is I authenticate things. Like this. And let's get that SSH command. Okay, so if you wanted to do this yourself, here is the relevant information. record the instructions and the method of solving the challenge. Okay, so the password for Century 14 is the number of words within the file on the desktop. The number of words within the file on the desktop. This should be pretty easy. But first, let's go ahead and log into the server. Okay, count my words. So count my words. Is there like a built-in word count into files using PowerShell, or is there something else that we need to do? PowerShell get word count. Okay, so let's see. Measure object commandlet with the word parameter. So get content, measure object word. Seems pretty straightforward. GC count my words. Split measure object. Split measure object. Split by space also seems like a pretty good idea. But let's see if this works first. So we're going to run it on count my words. So measure object word. Word 755. Let's see if this is the actual password. So just get out of here. We'll double check. That was it. That was it. I didn't know that there was a word parameter. I mean, you learn new stuff every day, huh? I mean, I do. I learned dozens of new things every day. Okay, so I mean, it's pretty straightforward here. We're just kind of flying through these. HMD, hello, nice to see you here. Nice to see you. Okay, we can move very swiftly onto level number 14. So after we, so this is not super difficult right now, but we might come on like some levels that are very difficult. I'm not too sure how long we want to go on with this, because it might get a bit boring after a while. So I think it was like 755, right? Let's try again. Yeah, okay. And the SSH command was this one. PowerShell training for the people. Well, I mean, for the people who want the PowerShell training, yeah. Okay, instructions. Let's get those instructions. The password for Century 15 is the number of times the word polo appears within the file on the desktop. Important note, you should count the instances of the whole word only, so we need to make sure that polo is by itself. April says the people who have to use it don't want to be on Windows. I mean, I'm sure there are people who use PowerShell who enjoy using PowerShell. I don't know. Okay, so let's get into this. So we're doing PowerShell. We're gonna get string pattern, or get word, get number of words, number of specific word. But not as part of a larger word. I agree, just there are people who like to self-mutilate, doesn't mean we should just let them. Ha ha ha. Okay, the more you use PowerShell, the easier it gets. It's quite handy in some respects. I mean, it is quite powerful. Okay, how do you extract a specific word from a text file? Select string. Select string command that uses a regular expression matching to search for text patterns in the input of strings and files. Where am I from? Canada. Canada, yeah. So measure word. All right, let's talk about this for a sec. Count specific strings in text file using PowerShell. So this is good old Stack Overflow. Here's one method. So select string. So the best version that they have of this is like a multi-line file. So file content equals get content your file.txt, matches equals select string input object file content pattern export. Export all matches, matches.matches.count. This does seem kind of verbose now, doesn't it? But, I mean, if it works, it works. Okay, count polos. So we're looking for the name, well, the word polo in this file. So the first thing they've got is file content equals get content your file. For this one, it's going to be count polos. And the next line is matches, select string, and look for the pattern. Select string, input object, file content, pattern is polo, right? Isn't that count the chicken in Spanish? I guess so. Polo, it's polo without the S though. the number of times the word polo appears within the file. Okay, so all matches, and then we do the last one. Which is matches.matches.count. We have 158. I'm not sure if this is the password for the next level. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, this isn't it. Okay. So we need to make sure that the word polo is not part of a larger word. Okay, so it looks like in this file, Snollygoster says file content split SLS pattern polo something something measure object. What is the $sign at the end of polo? Does it mean that it has to be file content split on what a word list? Regex pattern. Oh, okay, okay. So file content, get content, this thing, right? Count polos. Okay, so Snollygoster recommends like file content, this thing. This thing right here. Measure object. Count 153. 153. Now, is this only going to count strings that are on their own? It means ends with polo. Ends with polo. How do we completely isolate it though? So SLS pattern in PowerShell. Isolate string. If you want to be super specific, you'd use starts with polo and ends starts with P. Okay. All right, let's give it a try. So start of line, start of string, this 153. Okay, so I'll save this. And I'll see if this is the correct answer. $153. That was the correct answer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Snollygoster. That was clutch. So file content equals something something, and then file content dot split on spaces. SLS pattern, our pattern. Although I guess we could also do like get content and then like pipe it into the split. I wonder. Let me give that a try one more time. Because it's always nicer if you're able to do it in like a one-liner. Okay, want to do a King of the Hill. King of the Hill. I don't think I haven't done a King of the Hill before. So let's see if we can do it like on get content count polos, and then pipe that into the split on this, and then SLS pattern. Polo this thing, and then pipe that into measure object. Ah, okay. So a parameter that cannot be found that matches the parameter name split. So get content doesn't have split. Have to wrap it in parentheses? Oh, okay. Now like this. Okay, it does work. Great, great. All right, let's measure that. Sorry, let's record that. It's PowerShell. Yeah, they really like to split it on these things. They're so fun if you're not with sweats. Not with sweats. I mean, is it? Well, it's more fun for the sweats, I guess, if they were doing it. I have a rootkit that I made. A rootkit. That sounds like a lot of fun. X Mansus. Hi, nice to see you here. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, King of the Hill. I mean, if I was to do a King of the Hill, I'd want to plan it in advance and get like a good number of people on each team and make sure that the teams are evenly split. So this is going to be level 15. It's not teams, it's more individual. I mean, usually, like, King of the Hill... Oh, King of the Hill as in... Everybody's fighting to be king. Okay, okay. I thought you were talking about, like, attack and defend. Which is what they do over at DEF CON. Like, the DEF CON CTF is attack and defend. Okay, so there's like a king.txt file and your name has to be in it. Oh. Okay, so it's like a one-on-one? Can you do it like a free-for-all? Can you do it like with 5 people or 7 people or 12? Oh, it is a free-for-all, okay. Okay, so what are our instructions for this level? It can be one-on-one. I guess that would be your how to resolve issues with people in the hacking community. One-on-one me scrub, that kind of thing. One-on-one me and King of the Hill. Oh, that's it? This was the last level? Not my forte. I don't really ever think of how to defend. I would lose hard. I mean, I think most people who do like network hacking exercises would lose pretty hard on the defend portion. But defending isn't just patching. You have to, or you just don't defend. My defense is offense. Okay, so level 15 is the end of the game. Huh. I wonder if we can do another game then. So there's Sentry, there's Cyborg, there's Groot, Oracle, and Trebek. Pick a game and then pick a level, 0 to 15. All of these games are 0 to 15? I think we might just move on to another. We might just move on to another thing now, because I think I might be a bit PowerShelled out. Are they all PowerShell? They're all supposed to be PowerShell. Yeah, because this entire channel is about PowerShell stuff. Scroll to the top to see the credentials. After obtaining the credentials, connect to the server via SSH. I kind of don't want to. I kind of don't want to interact with their Slack channel though. Maybe the credentials are online. Hold on. Let's search for this. PowerShell, UnderTheWire, Cyborg. Cyborg level 0 password. All the credentials should be online. I'm hoping so. The password to log into the initial level 0 of the UnderTheWire Cyborg post PowerShell wargame is Cyborg 1. Okay, it's Cyborg 1. Okay, great. Let's give this a try. Actually, it's Cyborg 0 is the name of the level. Has anybody heard from Slyborg lately? Let me make sure I've got the SSH Cyborg. Oh, it's okay. I need to change the name of the game here as well. Not in a while. Yeah, she got a job. I think it was like a non-tech job too. Let's see. She did come back once with a stream where she said she got a job and would not stream as much anymore. Okay. Did I not spell this correctly? SSH Cyborg 0 at cyborg.underthewire.tech. Yeah, Slyborg is a streamer, right? She was like doing whole like documenting her cybersecurity journey. She's very popular. Yeah, it looks like it's not the correct password. I guess they changed the credentials. I think she's still aiming to get into cybersecurity. It's just that she has to take care of her finances first. So it's not Cyborg 0. I guess we're gonna have to check their Slack. The other thing I could cheat and I could look at the YouTube video. Actually, the YouTube video isn't going to show us the password because the password is blanked out. Maybe I can take a look at the walkthrough just a sec. Just a bit. Huh, that's kind of funny. For needing people, the industry is way too hard to get into. I've decided it's just a hobby. Yeah, I mean the thing about cybersecurity is that it's reported that okay, so the first level is actually Cyborg 1 and not Cyborg 0. That's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the end of the game. Congrats. Okay, so the next game is Cyborg. Level 1. So the SSH/password we'll put over here. They only want to hire people with 5 years of experience. Sometimes it really does feel like that. Well, I mean, at least that's the way that it feels like, especially if you look at the job postings. The job postings all have like a laundry list. Yeah, they all have like laundry lists of requirements for like entry-level jobs. But the other thing about cybersecurity is that even the entry-level jobs in cybersecurity aren't necessarily... How do you spell that? Necessarily entry-level. I mean, I guess some of them are. Like, you would expect that, like, SOC analyst, level 1, this would be entry-level. But, like, network, or even, like, junior network pen tester, this is very rarely going to be entry level because the required skill set to do like junior network pen tester work is way higher than you'd expect for any entry level job. Yeah, SOC analyst level 1 is kind of entry level. The rest do not exist as entry level. I mean, if you were to do like malware, so something like forensics analyst, which you would suppose that this would be an entry-level job. That's actually not entry-level. where you would go to get like a forensics analyst job is that you would start at like SOC analyst, and then you would work your way up from SOC analyst level 1 to level 2, and then maybe you would pivot from there to get into like a forensics analyst role. And by entry level, you mean something that you can do straight out of school. Yeah, it's not super realistic. Like most cybersecurity, most SciSec jobs have a laundry list of like prerequisites. So it's a laundry list of prerequisites, you know, for example, must be familiar with, I don't know, anyways, I don't even want to go into it. It's a shame because SOC analyst is super boring, had no heart for it. Okay, so we've got instructions, and we've got method to solve. We might solve a couple of these levels and then move on to something else. Okay, the password for Cyborg 2 is the state that the user Chris Rogers is in. Sorry, what? The password for Cyborg 2 is the state that the user Chris Rogers is from, as stated within Active Directory. Okay, so I'm assuming that Active Directory stuff, we just need to get the Active Directory user and then look at the details. So the description. We want to get the AD user for Chris Rogers. Chris Rogers, okay. So we're doing PowerShell, like 80 users by first and last name. Holy grammar, holly grammar. Grammar. To find Active Directory users by their first and last name using PowerShell, use the getAdUser commandlet with the filter, given name, and surname. So I guess we need to do something like this. We're looking for, what was it? Chris Rogers? So this is Chris. Okay, so we found the guy. Now we need to get his user description. So PowerShell 80 users get description. So get 80 users properties description. Is this all we need to do? Properties description. This can, I mean, sometimes PowerShell really reminds me of SQL. So there's no description. The state that the user Chris Rogers is from as stated within Active Directory. State refers to the location within the country and not state of the account. Location within the... Wait, are we able to get... Is there like a location? Yeah, I mean, we can also get all the properties. So we can just properties everything. Oh, okay. So it's not a specific... We're looking for a property called state. I mean, this isn't normal. I mean, I don't think this is normal. Normally they don't have like a property called state. Okay, or a X509. And what is X509 in this case? Notice it populates there. And I mean, this is all the information here. TLS, okay, TLS certification, or, yeah. Okay, so I mean, we've got the command. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll reevaluate. Said property state, it popped up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether or not it's like a standard property though, or if it's like a custom one. Okay, let's do the next level. So it's the Kansas. Kansas? Kansas. What's the clear screen... What's the clear screen keyboard shortcut for PowerShell? Does anybody know? CLS are clear. Wars don't end. Which wars are we talking about? IPv4. Okay, so we're dealing with some IP addresses now. Okay, we've got our instructions, and then we've got our solving method. Okay, so it's the next level, level 2. So the password for Cyborg 3 is the host A record, the host A record IP address for Cyborg, what is this? Plus the name of the file on the desktop. Alright. host a record IP address. Host a record IP address. So if we take a look at this file, oh, IPv4 is the name of the file on the desktop. So the thing we need to look up is host a record for this. So I guess we're doing PowerShell lookup host information for domain. Is it a domain we're looking up, or is it, what are we looking up again? So we would call this like a URL. So look up host information for URL. To look up a host or DNS information for a URL in PowerShell, you first need to extract the host name from the URL, and then pass it to resolve DNS name commandlet. Okay, so resolve DNS name dot host. We're looking for this thing, cyber something something. Okay, that doesn't that doesn't work. Oh, we're just looking for the IP address. Yeah, okay. This makes it easier. So let's see, PowerShell lookup IP address for host name for yeah, I think it should be host name, right? Look up IP address for host name. Okay, so resolve DNS name equals something something. So the name is going to be like cyber something something. This thing. Yeah, we found it. Okay, great. So resolve DNS name. So combine the IP address with this IPv4. Okay, all together, the password is this thing underscore IPv4. Okay, let's just double check that this is the correct password. And it is the correct password. Awesome. Okay, so we'll do one more level. Okay, Advow says 2011, barely anyone had smartphones, and now in 2026, we have AI. I mean, technology kind of works like that. I was in... I was in... Where was I in 2011? I was in South Korea. I was in South Korea teaching English in 2011. And nobody had smartphones. Nobody... I mean, the only people who had smartphones back in 2011 were people who had a lot of money. The thing is that the carriers didn't really support smartphones back then. Really cool job. It was a pretty fun job. It was a pretty good job for a person just out of college. Did you learn Korean? Yeah, I learned a good amount of Korean. I was able to get by okay. I was a person who liked to integrate into whatever country that I was working in. There are some people who absolutely refused to learn the language while they were there, because they figured they would never use it after they left the country. But I tried to integrate as best I could. Okay, there's the password. Those people miss the point of going to another country. I mean, to some people, it's just a job. To some people, it's just a way of making money, and they see it as a very utilitarian thing. What are my instructions? Don't understand how people... I mean, I understand their way of thinking. It's just that I don't really agree with that. Were you glad you picked Korea over Japan or somewhere else? I mean, I did all of them. I did Korea and then Japan and then China. I did 5 years of overseas English teaching. Hold on. What was that password? I doubt you get to use it often. I mean, there are like Korean people living in my neighborhood, but I don't get a lot of opportunities to just bust it out. Maybe sometimes at like restaurants or something. Okay, back in the day, the AI was a web browser. I mean, everything was like Google searching. Okay, where are my instructions? The number of users in the Cyborg group within Active Directory plus the name of the file in the desktop. Okay, so that we're really getting into Active Directory stuff here. Okay, I've had a hard time getting a good job in America. I mean, people who did education in Asia, they were just kind of like delaying. Most people were like delaying getting a job in their chosen field after graduating from college, because you needed to have like a degree in order to qualify for the jobs teaching English overseas. The number of users in the Cyborg group. Okay. So first we need to get the number of users in the Cyborg group. I mean, we could probably search for it pretty easily. PowerShell count numbers in Active Directory group. It's useful to eavesdrop on strangers who assume you can't understand them. I don't know about that. What was the gaming scene like in China? The gaming scene in China? I mean, I don't think I was part. I was not part of the gaming scene while I was in China. I was kind of not in. I was not in the scene. As far as the gaming scene in China now, it mostly revolves around mobile games, as far as I know. Okay, so PowerShell, get 80 group member, identity, your group name, and then count. Oh, is that it? Seems pretty easy. Okay, I can hear the difference between the F and the TH sound. I'm pretty sure they have time limits. Yeah, I mean, these days, it's a lot more strict. So the name of the group is called Cyborg. Okay, so we got 88, and I think we want to add 88 objects. The hardware scene in China is where it's at least in one province. I think that most of the hardware manufacturing is done in the Guangdong province in China. Although I could be wrong. That was the province where I was working. Okay, let's see if this password works. Yep, it worked. Great. Let's go ahead and record this. The password is 88 objects. Got this thing. Eigel, hello, nice to see you here. Hope you're having a good day. Let's go ahead and copy this. Whoops, not that one. Get 80 group member identity. Okay. That was quick. Now I can move on to the next level. The password for Cyborg 5 is the... Thank you very much, Eigel64, for following on Twitch. Thank you. The password for Cyborg 5 is the PowerShell module with the version number of 8989 plus the name of the file. Okay. PowerShell module. Look up PowerShell module by version number. To look up a PowerShell module by its specific version number, get module, fully qualified name. So get module, list available, fully qualified name, and then... what? Module version. Where object dot version equals something something. Well, let's give it a try. Did I miss the Privesk? Yeah, I mean, the Privesk stuff was the third hour of today's stream. So if you want to go back to hour number 3, although I guess it would be kind of difficult because we had like a break. I hate MS terminology. Fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. Sure. Okay. az.accounts. So get module, list available. I mean, I'm pretty sure we just need to list the available modules. It's going to be a big whack of stuff. Oh, okay, okay. And then we can look up the version number. Where object version equals something something. So we're looking for 8989. Okay. Atval says, is 30 hours of programming studies a week feasible to do? Depends on what else you have to do during the week. If you're a full-time student, then 30 hours of programming studies is possible. Possible, considering that like a full-time studies is usually around 40 hours. Where object. Thank you, Topom versus Nightcore. And Segfaults, hey, what is up? What is up? Okay, so where object. Oh, gotta spell everything correctly, of course. No typos allowed. Bacon. Get bacon. What happens when you type in get bacon? It's bacon! Pretty cool. We're able to pwn with that name. 2Pam versus Nightcore. I expected ASCII art of Kevin Bacon. Well, I mean, it's one or the other. So this is level 4? Oh, kin to Rick rolls. Okay. Thank you very much. Man02. Thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Thank you. Okay, and we'll record the instructions and the method of solve. Okay. I remember those commercials, begging strips for dogs. Oh. There has to be like TV commercials, dogs begging for bacon treats. What was the name of that product? Purina begging strips. Okay. Is this dogs don't know it's not bacon? Is this the thing you're thinking of, April, or something else? Now, what was that password? Yeah, that one? Awesome, awesome. There was a retriever that would say it's bacon. Okay, and you know what? We might move on to something else after this. Under-the-wire PowerShell? Yeah, we're doing a PowerShell, like a PowerShell CTF exercise. It's basically like over-the-wire Bandit, but for PowerShell stuff. It's a bit dry, but you know, for some reason, PowerShell stuff is never as interesting as like Linux stuff. It's just a personal preference. Mm, 10,000 hours of mastery in a skill. I never learned phonics. Oh, okay. That's what the research says. Well, I mean, programming mastery? What kind of programming language do you want to do, though? Do you want to do Python, or do you want to do C, or C++, or something else? People usually specialize. The password is... What are they looking for again? The name, right? Do Zig or COBOL? Yeah, of course. Only machine language counts. NedMax says 10,000 hours is mastering one area of programming, not programming in general. That would require a lifetime. Get help, get bacon. Get help, get bacon? Eggs. Okay, so bacon eggs? Bacon eggs. Because they say it's the module name. The module name. So the module name is bacon. So bacon underscore eggs. It didn't work for you? Really? Let's try to log in. Matrix 4. How good is the movie Matrix 4? I did not watch it. Well, I mean, bacon eggs worked for me. True story, I had trouble learning to read until I stopped doing the phonics. You were... the phonics got in the way, huh? Okay, so let's finish off. Let's go ahead and do some... I really want to do some low-level stuff, right? Let's try doing AllaCyber. Training.allacyber.it. Oh, you memorized whole words instead of sounding them out? Okay. Makes sense. Alright, so let's do some of these low-level software challenges over at allacyber.it. These are all in Italian, of course, so it's an extra layer of difficulty. But there are 25 challenges. Okay, so we did the supermarket one. Let's do this one called Hidden Variable. Hidden Variable. So this, I mean, this is probably... Is it worth getting into cybersecurity as a career, or am I wasting my time? Well, F90 Comp, hello, nice to see you here. I wouldn't get into cybersecurity as a career unless cybersecurity was something you were generally interested in. I wouldn't get into cybersecurity if you just want to see it as like a vehicle to get rich or to make a bunch of money. Although it's possible to get a bunch of money while working in cybersecurity, if that's the reason why you're doing it, I'd say that is probably the wrong reason to do it. But where are your interests, F90 Comp? Let's get out of here. And what's up with this challenge? They've got a file for us to examine, so I'll just copy that. It's called hidden variable. Okay, we'll download the file. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Let's just download it by clicking on the link. And then we'll move it on into this directory. Okay, so now we're doing a software hacking challenge. We need to figure out what the flag is inside of this binary called hidden variable. So I guess the first thing we want to do is we want to make the thing executable, and then it will destroy our computer because we downloaded it from a sketchy website. If you want to get rich, go for finance and get a job on Wall Street. Okay, let's run some strings on this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that there's no suspicious... I see something that might be a flag in here. Latua flag? Whoops. So there's a hidden variable in here. Maybe? Okay, thanks for the insight. I mean, you might want to take a look at F90 Comp. You might want to take a look at this website here, or this web page. Go into medicine, that's easier money. Alright, so it's been a while since I've done any sort of software hacking stuff. We'll try Radare 2 default hidden variable, and then we will analyze it. And then we'll print the disassembly function at main. So they're talking about like a hidden variable. So they've got a flag, it's a bunch of... Are these Unicode code points? Kiwi, hello, nice to see you here. All these people, not enough likes on the stream. If you're enjoying what you're watching right now, go ahead and click on the thumbs up on the stream, thank you. Okay, we got some argv, some argc. Hidden variable. So I guess let's translate this page. Translate page from Italian to English. Okay, I can no longer find my variable. Would you lend me a hand? Hidden variable. So we're using Radare 2. Although I suppose I'll stick to using Radare 2 for a little while. List binary variables. Use the I information command family. So it's I what? List all symbols, functions, and global variables. So IS for list symbols. Well, we've got a variable called flag, apparently. Is there hacking in the Star Wars films? I think some of the droids do some hacking. I'm not too completely sure. So we got a flag over here. Global object. Jackson, America. Hello, nice to see you here. Hope you're having a good time. So there's this thing called the flag, and then what are these? So it looks like it prints out the flag here. Like 5 characters. What are we doing today? We were doing some PowerShell hacking CTF exercises, but we kind of did a lot of them. So we're doing some different stuff now. We're doing some reverse engineering. But of course, we're dealing with a website that's in Italian, so we have to Google Translate some stuff. Okay, you should try Cutter. I've thought about it. The one big impediment is that I've never found a good way to install Cutter. So translate. Okay, the something flag. Your flag. Your flag. So this prints out your flag. Well, this is a message, right? So I just need to make sure that these are code points. So if we just run the thing, so something, can you get the original? It looks corrupted. Where did I leave the original? So the original flag. Ah, okay. So I think I understand. So it tries to print out the flag, but it just comes out as a garble. And this is this message here. So there might be like a hidden function. Okay. So Jackson says, I was trying to install Ubuntu Linux into my 13-year-old laptop. I made in a micro SD card as an installer, but during the boot up, the laptop could not read the micro SD card. Okay, let's see if we can identify some of these functions. So there's a main function. Was there like a... There was this object called flag that we found over here. Where was it? Flag. Here. So can we look up what is in this memory? I forgot all of my Radare commands. So it's like print hexadecimal at this address. Oh wow. There's the flag. But how do we get only the printable characters? There's got to be some Linux foo we can do to get this. So print hexadecimal, maybe print ASCII. So let's see, Radar to print ASCII at memory address. An exact copy of it with XXD, then strip out the non-printing? Oh, maybe, yeah. So PS to print null-terminated ASCII strings. Okay, so PS. So we'll try PS. That's just an F. Okay, not great at reversing. I mean, this is why we're here. We're here to get better at reversing. But you know, SysOS Master's recommendation isn't a bad idea. So we would just grab this and then turn it into like a hex dump. Because this is basically a hex dump, right? Nano flag.dump. Paste it in, save it out, and then we'll use XXD, reverse printable on flag.dump. Ooh. That still looks pretty rough. Yeah, there are too many null bytes in the way. There's single characters surrounded with the nulls? Yeah. I mean, what if we... Okay, so we can output this to... Maybe we can pipe this into strings? No, we can't. I think let's do some fancy Linux foo. So, was it awk? Awk-D? Awk delimiter space? Field, I don't know, 7? Was it TR? No, no, no. Awk to output only certain fields. Oh, it's the print statement. Okay, so awk print. So it's awk print. First and third columns of the file. So awk print. I mean, we're only looking for the last column in this case. So print like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. Okay, so here's our flag. We now need to delete. Delete the dots, and then delete the new lines. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that's one reverse engineering challenge done. I really want to get better at doing reverse engineering. Submit. Yep. Okay. Let's do the write-up. Thank you, Ignifer. So this is for All Cyber, Software Hacking Olympiad. Oh, I've got one. I've already done this challenge before. Okay, well, I don't think I solved the challenge when I tried doing this the last time. So this was 5 months ago, so almost half a year. Okay, let's go ahead and actually solve the challenge this time, because this looks like half the work. Yeah, it's about half the work, but not everything. Okay, what's actually going on is that there is an object called flag that is stored at a specific memory address. Okay, flagrant elbow. Hello, nice to see you here. What is up? We're just hanging out. We're trying to do some software hacking challenges over here. Okay, so this is all Radare 2. Radare 2 syntax. So IS gives us the list of variables, or like objects. So the memory address we've got for this one is this. So what we can do is we can print out the hexadecimal located at this location, the memory location. So it's just going to be px at this. Okay, and this gives us our flag, but it looks... There's got to be like a more elegant way of doing this. Alright, so let's go ahead and go on for another hour or so. I could spend a lot of time doing reverse engineering challenges. Okay, flag is at this memory address. So the flag is here, but it's messy. Save the output from the hex dump into a file, then use your Linux foo. Reverse engineering is cool. I mean, I agree. You can definitely... Reverse engineering is very, very cool, especially if you can do it at high levels. I cannot, but I'm trying to get there, and I'm trying to share what I learned with all of you all. Okay, that is done. So what was the other easy one? So private club, so software hacking Olympiad, private club. What were the other? Supermarket. Supermarket, private club. What was supermarket again? I didn't do a write-up. I want to be the customer of this supermarket. The customer of the month of the supermarket. Can you help me out? Okay. And why don't you give this a try yourself? So we got the compiled binary, and we also have the C source code for the supermarket app. Here's the thing, if you didn't document it, it didn't happen, so we need to make it happen. Let's download these files. So the source C and the supermarket. Okay, so let's take a look at the source code. Oh, okay. So we need to find some way to purchase the flag, and then it'll give you the flag for the thing. So run supermarket. So current. So we have 10 euro. Cosa vuoi comprare? I don't know what that means. What does it mean? Google Translate. What do you want to buy? So my suspicion here is that we can buy negative amounts. Yeah, can we underflow the current amount? So we'll try buying the pasticuato alla crema, and we'll just try the quantity. We'll buy minus 10,000. Ci hai provato, mi dispiace. You tried, I'm sorry. Okay. So we'll try running it again. We'll try buying this. Ultra. Or like again or more? You buy 4 of the 3 euro one? Maybe. Other? So like continue? Yes. Buy this. How many do you want? Like negative 2? Okay, so we were able to buy a negative amount. So I'm guessing that it waits for you to, it does the comparison of whether or not you have enough money to buy the thing. So if we choose 3, quantity -1, segmentation fault. So if we try to buy the flag and buy -1 of it, it crashes the program. How many do you want? -30? Now we've got 100. So how many do we need to buy of this 3 euro thing to afford this? It's 1 million. I'm getting closer. How about 30,000? How about 300,000? Do we have enough? No, we're like a few off. So let's try buying -1 million. Okay, now we definitely have enough. So we can just buy the flag. But when we try to buy the flag, it crashes the program. Maybe it crashes the program because we don't have the flag file in here. Anyways, let's move on to the actual online version of the app over at All Cyber. So we'll buy the first item, we'll buy -1 million. And then we will buy the flag. Yeah, negative amount is not an amount. Okay. Yep, we got it. This time we're going to document it so that we actually did it. Okay, so this challenge is called Supermarket. Okay, so this challenge is here. The concept we need to understand for this challenge is business logic flaws. So business logic flaws, and I guess there's the whole concept of buying negative amounts. So buying negative amounts, this leads to the infinite money glitch. Okay, so the method to solve. So the source code for this app looks like this. Let's grab that source code. Okay. So there are a distinct lack of checks to ensure that user input doesn't include negative numbers, which enables users to buy a negative amount of items. Okay, so I guess what we need to do is we need to identify the part of the program that doesn't do the check. So price times amount. And how do we, like, result scanf amount? There's no check here. Okay, so what does this mean? Never trust user input. Yeah, that makes sense. The flag costs 1 million. 1 million euro. Sell or buy negative 1 million of any of the lower price items to get a balance of over 1 million euro. And I guess that's it. Okay, we can move on to the next challenge. So the next challenge is Private Club. Okay, only those who have the badge can join my private club. Smiley face. Okay, if you want to give this a shot yourself, Here's the link. Or sorry, here's the netcat command. So private club, I think this is like a JavaScript challenge. Okay, so what kind of file is this? Oh, this is just the executable. So we're not given the source code. Okay, I actually have some notes for this, so I should probably take a look. Stack buffer overflow, variable overwrite to win. So after downloading and making the binary executable, we run the binary. The binary takes in 2 inputs, then exits. This is what the main function disassembly looks like in Dart 2. Okay. We see that there is a branch of the main function that opens up a shell for us. But in order to access the branch of the program must have a certain variable set. So before the test instruction, the byte in the var.ch memory address is loaded into the EAX register, and if the contents of var.ch is smaller than the size of EAX, then the rest of the register is filled up with zeros. This payload should solve the challenge. FS says, is Windows source code just encrypted? How do they hide their code? I mean, I haven't really taken a look at Windows binaries. I'm sure if you were to work hard enough, you would be able to reverse engineer it. They probably take some measures to make sure that this stuff is hard to reverse engineer as well. Okay, let's see. Apparently I didn't solve the challenge on the AllaCyber website, but I've got this this write-up here that I did. How long ago did I do this write-up? So I did this write-up 5 months ago as well. So this was in February or something. Apparently this is not... Actually, wait. Oh, okay. This gives us a shell. So just cat the flag. Wow. Wow. They don't encrypt? Okay. Bad scanf. So scanf, I think this is supposed to illustrate that scanf is an insecure function in C. Let's submit that flag. Okay, that is the correct flag. Great. Alright, and I guess we can move on to the next challenge, which is Integram Generator. Integram, huh? Let's get out of here. Not insta, but inter. So what's going on with this challenge? I found this service that generates phrases for Instagram. At some point, however, he printed me sentences that he shouldn't have shown me. I think this is supposed to be some sort of format vulnerability. Okay, let's download these files first. Out of bounds read? Maybe. Let's move the source code files. Okay, so if we just run the thing, it crashes. If we just run the program, it crashes. All right. Okay, we got some phrases over here. Alright, let's try accessing the challenge with Netcat. So let's see. Input the number from 1 to 10 to get a phrase, to get your phrase. Choose a number from 1 to 10 to get your phrase. So maybe 0, 11, 12, 12. What if it's a really big number? What is this message? Come back for new catchphrases. Okay, sure. Although, I guess we might want to dump out memory addresses, and we can do it like this, like pointers. Dump out the pointers. Otherwise, we'd have to figure out where the vulnerability is specifically. So usually we need to identify where the vulnerable function is. There are a bunch of like common vulnerable functions in these beginner level binary exploitation challenges. So maybe it's puts. Puts or scanf. It's probably scanf, because scanf is like a notorious insecure function. This gets saved to choice. Result is not 1, or choice is greater than 1. So it has to be over 1. So it can't be negative. System strings. Wait, where do they define that? Okay, so system strings are characters. If this is a beginner stream, the non-beginners would be so hard. Yeah, no, I mean this isn't a beginner level stream necessarily. The beginner level stuff was all at the beginning of the stream. I'm really missing the color highlights. Yeah, I mean if we wanted to see the color highlights, we would do this. So system strings, it uses these phrases here. So it's an array of characters. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, get character is not... So the system strings is also an array that the program uses to output the program messages. So they define flag in read mode. Oh, you know what? That's why the program must have crashed. System strings 2. So scanf the contents of the flag and save it to system strings 2. So system strings 2 is, I mean, it starts counting from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that the flag is blank. Yeah, I mean, the flag is probably blank in the source code, but if we... So how do we output the system string 2? Because we only have control over the phrases that we get here. Okay, let's try running the netcat command. Where is it? Okay, try 14. 14? Oh, that's kind of clever. Yeah, let's give it a shot. It gave us something. We need to go beyond the boundaries of the array. Sounds about right. So 13, 14. 14 gives us something. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, ooh, we got timed out. Okay, we need to locate the system strings array. So the system strings array was like 6 big. I think we can jump with increments of 5. It's like 10. So we start with 15, then 20, then 25, 30, 35. Oh. Wait, I think there might be an easier way of doing this. We could probably like debug. We could debug using using Radare. First, we need to make something called flag, right? Yeah, flag. So we'll make something called flag. Echo HackerFrogs like and subscribe to a file called flag. And then we might be able to supply like a memory address, because sometimes scanf can take in some really weird looking stuff. Anyways, so Radare 2 debug integram thing. Whoops. Okay, analyze that. And then PDF. So where do they put this stuff? We need to figure out where they store the variables. Relocation is present, addresses will not be fixed. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so I mean, we can find where they store this stuff, right? Relative addresses might, and offsets would. So we just need to figure out where the string is. So no pain, no gain. The fopen call. The fopen call? The one that reads in the flag. Yeah, okay. So let's see, fclose, fopen, okay. So call in fopen here. String.flag. So this reads in the flag. I think what we need to do is we need to figure out where the system strings are located, though. Maybe. Actually, let's set a little breakpoint. So we'll set a breakpoint for over here, right after it loads in the flag. And then maybe we can take a look at what's in the memory at that point. I forget what the terminology is to get the variables. Okay, local variables and arguments. So AFV lists all variables and arguments. So AFV. So we got a bunch of different locations we could look at. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's our HackerFrogs. There's our HackerFrogs message. Yeah. So, I mean, we can't load this thing specifically, although it would be really nice if we could. So how far is it away from the other array? Oh, that's a good question. So I'm pretty sure that this is, so it's 0, 1, 2. This is the memory address. So this is the flag string. The flag string array is here. So the other one is the one with the phrases. And I think it might be this. No, that was the same one. Just a second. var 10 is here. Ho ho! Hello, nice to see you here. What is up? So this is a bunch of garbage. And we'll try this other one. You're on TryHackMe now, that's great. There we go. This is where the phrases are. Whoops. So something like this. Okay, so how many... What is the difference between this one and this one? So it looks like... How many bytes is this? So 00 and FD. FD, let's... Hex to decimal. 200. Okay, hey, ho ho ho. Please stop typing in all caps. Thank you. So this is decimal number 253? 253, okay. So let's give it a try from 253. So it doesn't let you do anything above a certain number. So I wonder what that number is. So 100's fine, 200 is fine, 220 is still fine. $230, $240. What was the number we were looking for? 253. 252. 253 crashes the program, or it did. So 255 immediately crashes the program. $240 also crashes the program. 230, 230 to 27. $259, $259. So what numbers are going to make the thing crash? 210. Parla Inglese. Hello, GX000. Nice to see you here. We're just doing some reverse engineering challenges. Doesn't that correspond to an integer length? Integer length. Let's take a closer look at what's being referenced here. Do we divide the address by the array size? Yeah, I'm not too sure how we're supposed to be doing this. So printf system strings 3. There's nothing that specifically prints out system strings 2 though. System strings 5. System strings 2 is referenced up here. Thank you very much, Reckless Ties. Thank you. 64 is the string length. String length. So each one of these strings is supposed to be 64 bits in length. Or 64 characters in length. It runs scanf on end choice. Printf system strings 3 with the phrase at the index. So a short index. It's 13. So 64, what is fscanf? File scan? Okay, let's get some hints, because we're entitled to them, yay. I found this service that generates phrases for Instagram. At some point, however, he printed me sentences that he shouldn't have shown me. Okay, so hints, do you want to unlock the hint? Sure. Check the management of the number you enter well, where and how it moves it. File scan formatted. The number you enter, where and how it moves it. Well, I mean, this is probably talking about, we're probably doing some overflow, right? Wait, if it's overflow, then maybe we can... give like some really big input. I guess that they don't really care about like non-numerical input here either. The restreamer is lagging, is it? Oh yeah, it's lagging pretty bad. So if you give really big numbers, it just... Ooh, wait, it didn't crash. I thought if we give it like really big numbers, it would just crash. Probably a memory leak? I mean, it has to do with like buffering. The longer the stream goes, it gets further and further behind because of the restream buffer on YouTube. Okay, so since I've never dealt with stuff like this before, I'm gonna ask the AI for a little bit of help. Okay, AI, solve all my problems. So this, I guess we could call this binary exploitation challenge. So we're supposed to access the, what was it, system strings? System strings to object. What is the recommended method to arrive there? Bam. I don't see a response. Okay, here we go. Nice challenge. Here's a concise practical analysis on how you reach the system strings in this program, keeping things readable and focused on what you can test locally. What the code does, it loads in a string from a file into system strings by doing fopen, scanf, and then fclose. System strings is defined as 6 strings, each 64 bytes, with system strings being initially empty. But it will be overwritten by the contents of the flag up to 63 characters, stopping at white space. Okay, the only direct user input that could affect memory layout here is via scanf flows into choice, index, and end choice. The program uses scanf to read a number. Scanf, so let's see, HU? HU is unsigned, right? But what is H? A local array phrase not obviously overflowed here. The key risk is that system strings is written from a file, not from user input. If you can influence the contents of the flag file, you can set system strings to any string. The content of the flag file? But given the challenge says access the system strings object to get the flag, you're expected to leverage memory layout or control flow to cause the program to print, or otherwise reveal system strings after the initial load. Okay, understand the print flow. If we could manipulate the flag file, we would have won already. That's true. Okay, after each iteration, it prints system strings and reads end choice. If end choice equals S, it loops again, otherwise it ends by printing the system strings. If end choice equals S, Okay, file content as flag injection. You can modify the flag file before running. I don't think we're doing that. Format string printf misuse. If system strings can be manipulated to include format specifiers, it could cause a format string vulnerability. System strings is initialized as this, and is overwritten only by scanf into system strings and writes the flag into the slot. Disabling certain protections. They really want us to hack the flag. Okay, the intended route is likely a format string vulnerability via system strings being used as the format string to print F. Mm-hmm. Experiment with flag content. With the flag containing format specifiers. We can't do that. Yeah, the AI is not helping us out very much. Can you link me the challenge? Yeah, I can certainly do that. It's over here. We can also pick up the extra. Maybe tell the AI that you suspect an offset entry. Yeah, okay. We can talk about that. Let's get the extra, the other hint. Okay, unsigned short choice equals 0. Integer index equals 0. So the unsigned short is registered as your choice. We suspect that we can access the system strings array from the choice variable by providing a number that is outside of the range of the phrase array. Okay, you can try manipulating the choice input to read memory beyond the phrase array, but the code path doesn't expose system strings directly via that output. The realistic path is to leverage a format string vulnerability in the printf call using the string stored in system strings as a format. The content of system strings. Okay, let's tell this guy straight up, we cannot modify the contents of the flag file. Okay, printf style format string vulnerabilities. So we can try looking for stuff that looks like this. We are getting stuff by going beyond. So 12, 13, 14. So this is just like random data. What we need to find is where the actual system strings lie. The other thing they told us to pay a lot of attention to is this right over here, right? So hint 2, unsigned short choice equals 0, int index equals 0. You can also give this hint to the AI. We were told in a hint to pay attention to this part of the code. Okay, if the code declares unsigned short choice and index, there are a couple of common pattern implications to investigate without modifying the flag file. So the unsigned short choice may be used to control which code path is taken. Its value wraps at this value right here, so 65,536. So if an input influences choice, you might trigger an out of bounds or misindexed path, even when the value seems small. The integer index is assigned 32-bit value on most platforms. I mean, what happens if we give this big number here? This wraps around back to 1. That's interesting. So if we... So this should be number 2. Yeah. Okay. So that wraps around. Okay, so what happens if we go beyond this? So this is the last one. "46 is the last one. What about 47 then? It's just nothing. Okay. Ah, okay. So it just wraps around. Just enter the number and it overflows, gives the flag. Enter that number and overflows. I mean, if it overflows, yeah, but it doesn't give us the flag necessarily. I got the flag by literally entering 5533. Really? 65533. Oh, okay. So I mean, it wraps around. But why? Okay, I mean, we're pretty much done. I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a look at a write-up to figure out why the program behaves like this. I guess that was the next step. The next step was to just step down. So from the big number, just keep on going down in value. So 536, 535, 534. Because there are only so many values there. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing next week. So next week is week 30, and we've got some new streams coming up. So we're going to be doing a stream on Sunday that we're adding to our late night rotation. So we're doing 2 late night streams, Coding Sunday and Co-working Tuesday to start off the week. And then we're going to do our regular streams on Wednesday and on Friday at our regular time. But to people who like staying up late in North America, you're in for a treat, because we're going to be doing Leak Code stuff on Sunday, and then we're going to be learning C programming on Tuesday. Thank you very much, ho ho ho. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Alright, I'm gonna copy what you provided there. Nullsec, thank you. Okay. And, well, I mean, we're going to be going away for a little bit. But in the meantime, let's see who is doing InfoSec streaming. So this is a fun list of people who do InfoSec, cybersecurity streams, hacking streams on YouTube and on Twitch. And usually, if people are online, you'll see a green button over here. And I'm the only person. That's okay. Let's see who's streaming on Twitch right now. Looks like we've got Moohoodles. Okay, Moohoodles is usually doing some fun space stuff. Let's take a look at what she's doing. Oh yeah, I mean we're usually doing beginner level stuff at the start of the stream. So Moohoodles is doing some Ambassador Celebration stream, astrobiology, and space news. Ask me anything. Okay, so she's definitely a very fun streamer. She does educational content. We're gonna raid into her channel. Raid Moohoodles. Okay, when you arrive on our stream, if you could give this message right here, OSFrog Hip Hop Hack OSFrog, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. Sunday is going to be the next stream. We're going to be doing some coding. But have a great weekend, and until next time, HackerFrogs out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you next time, everybody.